What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Truly appreciate all y'all stopping by, showing the channel some love. Absolutely been popping off lately. Love seeing all those new faces inside of the community, so thank y'all so much for that. Now, as you can see, we are going to be talking about the Vouchsafe Void Scout Rifle from the Dreaming City. This has some absolute banger rolls that we can take into both PvP and PvE. Definitely my go-to for the PvE realm. This and that Ishira's Embrace from Trials. By far my two favorite scout rifles in general. Sucks that they both happen to be void, but absolute bangers for the PvE realm. Now, to start out here for our PvP roll for this weapon, we have some very good rolls in my personal opinion, and this thing feels very crisp. So for me, inside of this first column that we have here for our barrels, I'm going to go with corkscrew rifling. So this has that stability, range, and handling addition for us. I know it says PvE, but personally, I like having all three of those be positives for my PvP roll, so I can pull out the weapon faster, have that little bit of extra range and less bounce, instead of having something like this where it's just handling and recoil. I would much rather have corkscrew rifling on. Now, in our second slot, like it has here, accurized rounds for that extra 10 range. This allows this weapon to map people as a scout, especially with how the meta been lately in trials. Scouts are running rampant with this weekend especially, or the past weekend I should say. Jade Rabbit had 1 million more kills than the second most used weapon in trials. Absolutely ridiculous, and I think accurized rounds is a very good perk to have in that second column. Now, as it says here, in our third and fourth, we have a couple different options. You can go with Killing Wind in this corner, so when you get those defeats, you get plus 20 range, plus 50 mobility, plus 40 on your handling, and a 5% increase to damage fall off, just allowing you to do a little bit more damage at that farther distance. But for me personally, easily going with this rapid hit, so you gain that reload speed and stability, so you can just run through people inside a crucible with this. Absolutely a banger perk. Now, again, we have two options in our fourth column here with Eye of the Storm as our health gets lower. This is what I've been using on my Austringer, and I have come to enjoy it. At first, I didn't really like it, but definitely, as you can see, when your health gets low, you get that 30 for handling, and your accuracy actually gets better. So it's a very nice way to add your accuracy and that handling, being able to switch weapons faster with Eye of the Storm. So it's very good for this scout rifle. Now, as for our second option here, we have Explosive Payload, which is going to be a PvE perk as well. But this right here gives us that nice split into the actual damage of the bullet, as well as that little mini explosion, which is very good for hitting people just around that corner, hitting them in the ankles, doing that extra little bit of damage when they go to hide. Plus, I think this is a great way to just add damage to the weapon in itself. Now, it doesn't have that differences like in PvE when you shoot the body versus a precision shot, so that damage difference is the same actually with that explosion, but this right here is a great perk just in general, hence why it's gold and #1 in its column. For my PvE God Roll for this thing that I have been using a lot, and I actually have this roll, super banging, like I said, running it in GMs for those unstoppables alongside the Ashira's Embrace. Absolutely gnarly. So I'm running small bore on this bad boy for stability and range. That nice 7 range, again, just helps us throw those bullets down range a little bit farther. And stability with this weapon is just an extra little chef kiss on this build. Now, again, right here, we have tactical speed, which actually gives us a little bit less in our magazine compared to appended mag. But because tactical gives us stability and reload speed, we're able to reload our weapon faster and have that bounce be controlled. So I personally go with tactical mag over appended mag just for this situation, but appended mag is a very, very close second. Now in the third column, again, we have a couple options. You can go with rapid hit, but I personally enjoy 4th times the charm. So when we hit those precision shots, we actually have ammo from our reserves go back into the magazine, allowing us to continue to shoot for a longer period of time. And this is what I have on mine. I absolutely love it, especially when you're dealing damage to champions or something along those lines in mini bosses. Having that 4th times the charm gives you those extra little bit of bullets that you need when they get refunded to do that extra damage usually that you would have to do with another weapon or the second time you stun a champion. Now for the 4th column over here, easily for me, these top two, as they say, for gold, you can go with Vorpal weapon to do that extra little bit of damage on bosses, mini bosses, and vehicles. Now for me personally, again, I'm going with explosive payload. I think that this is easily the best perk in this slot here. As I was saying earlier, with those difference in explosive damage for PvE, you can see 15% body damage increase for a body shot, and then percentage damage increases varying on the precision multiplier. So it's a very, very good way to have that extra little bit of damage that we're getting in PvE. And with the explosive payload, this works for rank and file or those red bars. So this is a way better way to clear out more enemies instead of just doing that little bit of extra damage in our primary. But this is also a very, very good perk in our 4th column, allowing us to wipe out champions and bosses a little bit faster, especially when you pair it with 4th times the charm to get back that ammo on the continuous precision shots and damage. So those, in my opinion, are the God Rolls that you should be grinding for PvP and PvE. Now to obtain this weapon, you do have to get it from the Dreaming City, and you can't get it from focusing those engrams on the helm for the Dreaming City loot. I went through about 30 of them and never got a single vouchsafe unless it's just very unlucky. But as soon as I went to the Dreaming City, did a couple blind wells, and went to Petra and did her missions and bounties that reward legendary gear, I was able to get a couple to drop and finally got my God Roll in about 3 drops. So very, very farmable in my opinion, especially if you're just going in and doing that blind well. Petra, every week she has some bounties that reward those legendary gears, so just make sure y'all are going in and doing that on your characters if you're looking for this vouchsafe right here. So thank y'all again so much for watching. Truly appreciate that support lately. Let me know what you think about the vouchsafe, if you got the God Roll and all that jazz. So I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.